All right, guys. Today we're gonna do Justice number 8 from DC Comics. This is the Alex Ross cover with the Flash and Captain Cold. It's also a little story in here. Without further ado, let's dive right in because we're gonna continue. 4 issues to go, or 3 issues to go after this one. We'll see. All right. So Batman and Superman here at the Fortress of Solitude having a chat here, and basically Batman asks that their methods are not that different. But Superman says, "Well, your approach is more fear based, and Gotham is totally different from Metropolis." But then he says, I've seen you, interviews, and you tell everyone that you can see through walls. Is that the reason you let everyone know about you? When you do, Clark, you take the power of our shadow out of the shadows. You steal away a criminal's safety in the dark. You make them afraid. Like Batman is doing, right? And people say, I'm the smart one. Anyway, so hey, he said, what is your point? He says, well, you can see through walls. But now we're in Metropolis. Someone has seen through our walls and into our shadows. They want us to be afraid, talking about, the recent attacks. But then Superman hears something, and he flies into space, and he sees all these ships, orbs from Brainiac, right? With his, I believe, telescopic vision. So he knows the Brainiac's behind this, and then he is, going for the attack, I guess. But then we go to the Sahara, where Leonard Snart, also known as Captain Cold, is, making icebergs, and he's, getting rich of it. So... And he poisoned Flash, but he survived. And he says, hey, you tried to kill me. And that means you tried to kill everyone I hope to save until the day I die. So he wants to reach for his cold gun, but then he tricked Flash because it was made of ice. Pretty smart. And so then he uses his real gun. And it seems that Leonard has actually expecting Flash to survive and come back for him. And now he's, trapped in this illusion and mirror walls. But Flash says, hey, you cannot escape. But then he tried to get out, right? He says, haven't you learned you can't get away? But it was also all of these snow, more like ice sculptures, I guess, right? Like copies. And then Flash is impressed that he learned new tricks. And I really like this, that he's doing this maneuver. He's basically, spinning around like the top, another one of Flash's villains, especially like the after image, with the spinning. Really well done. I like all the small details. So more copies of Leonard, but Leonard cannot get away. So Flash grabs him and then goes to the Fortress of Solitude, where Batman is gonna interrogate him. All right. And Batman says, hey, this is the trophy room, Mr. Snart. I'll have one as well. We are superheroes tend to be fairly sentimental. And he says, I know you, Bruce Wayne. We all do. Plastic Man is also in the room. He says, are you sentimental, Mr. Snart? And grabs the gun. No, Bruce, not really. Why? I think of this gun I myself hate guns ever since I was a boy. He says, what are you talking about? What are you going with this? You really want to know if I have sentimental feelings about my gun? No, I'm thinking about your fingers and how many of them you like to keep. Now, there's a catch here. I'm going that here into a little bit later. Meanwhile, in, the void of the edges of reality, Hal Jordan is still trapped, or he trapped himself into the ring in order to survive. And all you see here is memories, things that has been played out before over and over again, right? And it seems that even his memories are now letting Hal know that he needs to get out of here somehow. They're pushing back. Maybe it's his subconscious speaking. I don't know, right? He says, listen to yourself, Hal. You may be beyond the capacity to be panicked or be afraid. And that's not a good thing. All that's left for you here is a set of memories to live in. You becoming a ghost. Wait, you don't want me to see me fly? Because, he was reliving his memories, right? See, we're not kids anymore. We have things to do, Hal. All right. Meanwhile, it seems that Adam has discovered that these creatures, these worms, are artificial in nature, and it seems that mostly, or a lot of them, or even the half of the world, or the world maybe, or Metropolis, or whoever is infected with these, shrunken by to microscopic size, and being how do you say, controlled by someone with a big brain like Brainiac. But even Brainiac has not a capacity to do that, right? He says these machines seem to have limited capabilities for independent operation. They really are geniuses in their simplicity, right? So it seems that to control all of these things, Brainiac's, I don't know, brain power would be amplified. So that is probably the reason that he is using a lot of people with mental capabilities to control these, like Gorilla Grodd. All right. Elongated Man comes in, right? And he says, hey, Batman is just finished with Captain Cold. But he also talks about, someone tell me why I wasn't attacked? What's wrong with me? I have a lot of power. I'm formidable. No. So Elongated Man is basically the joke somewhat of the Justice Society, or maybe DC in general, because, well, he cannot do what Plastic Man does, and Plastic Man is way more popular. All right, now this is the fun fact here. So, do I have way too much light here? How about this? Not much. Anyway, I see the faces, so Superman says, right? That's right. What's wrong with it? So the rest of the GLA says they know he has the answer. They believed he bluffed Captain Cold to get what he wanted. But they forget he's got Wonder Woman's lasso wrapped around him. He spoke the truth. He had no choice. His threats were real. Okay, so this light source is also not working. Sorry, guys. It's 12 at noon, right? You know, it's PM now. It's still dark outside. Anyway, so Batman explains that every villain has some kind of a dream about the end of the world, and somehow it's the Justice Society's or Justice League's fault. And the reason that they are doing this altruistic stuff is to save humanity from, independent doom, right? It's Armageddon. And but they're also doing this, of course, for gain, so that they can control the humanity. So that is where the worms come in. They're controlling everyone and to do as they do, basically becoming, the ruling class of the world. It's pretty smart. And but then Aquaman comes back, right? And it seems that Arthur is healed again because of this brain operation. So as we see in last issue, he has some healing capabilities. And he says, why are you all hiding here at the Fortress of Solitude? And then we have this guy. And I don't know what his deal is, but Smile Green Joker maybe in disguise? Probably, maybe. But isn't he in this anyway? I mean, I haven't seen him. Yeah, this must be the Joker. But then we see, how do you say, Parasites. Jonathan Crane also has the Scarecrow and I believe Clayface. Rounding up Captain Gordon, Batgirl, and Supergirl with her classic costume, which I really, really like. I'm a sucker for classics. All right. And so they're taking her away for whatever. So Superman comes then back to the cell and he says, Leonard, I want to have a look at you. And I really like this darker, using his telescopic X-ray vision, right? But it looks like he's a vampire or something like that. Looks really cool. Anyway, Hal Jordan is still playing with his, unconsciously, I guess, with his memories, and he's a young boy. But then the Phantom Stranger comes in. He says, Hal, I was looking for you. But then back at the fortress, we see Shazam. That is not Shazam, but Captain Marvel here. And she's a little bit in distress. What happened? What did Cheetah do to you? We are both beings of magic, Bill. There's also where we are most vulnerable, and I've been cursed. I'm going to die from the same poison that killed Hercules, the centaur's blood. But where Hercules' death returned him to the glory which was his by right and birth, I will return to my origins. These scars are baking me from within. I was clay once, formed by my mother's hands. The goddess made me real in answer to my mother's prayer. I've becoming unreal again. I don't have much time left. I really like this. I really like her origins. It was something fresh and out of this world. And I believe they are trying to undo something of that origins in modern comics. I don't know why. This is basically the perfect origin. A queen, a mother wants to have a daughter, and she made that one a baby or a figure of clay, and then the gods granted that clay life and power, and thus, Wonder Woman was born. Well, not Diana Prince was born, not Diana, right? And becoming later Wonder Woman. It's a very good origin. I really like that. All right, and then we have some, well, I'm not sure fun is the right word, but Elongated Man, EM, wants to have a word with Plastic Man. And as I said before, these two don't like each other. And so Plastic Man says, hey, man, isn't this going to be one of those talks? I'm sorry you're not the only stretchy guy in the league. You have to get over it. But he says, that's not my point. I'm a member of the league and you're not. I work monitor duty. I saved the team over and over. But then he says, you talk everyone to death and drive them crazy. That's why you do so much monitor duty. Who cares about your wiggling nose anyway? My friends, my wife. Listen, I wasn't attacked either. Maybe none of us are important. Feel better now? That's not the point. He's deflecting. Look, Ralph, we all been asked to be here. There can be two stretchy guys. It's okay. No, they can't. They don't need you if they have me. And I don't care if you were the first one with stretching powers. I think I see your point. Okay, Ralph, you want to tell Captain Marvel he's too much like Superman and that's why you got to leave? Here, you can practice on me. So Captain Marvel is looking from, wait, what? Taking silly form doesn't change anything. Yeah, well, maybe you should try to take in your form of something the league actually needs one of these days. That's a sick burn. Yeah, man, you're pathetic. Meanwhile, going back into Hal's ring, right, he says, you can't do this. I'm in charge of this world. If that were true, you would become the first thing you exist to fight, a villain. Ring, what's happening? Ring, you said I'd be safe in here. So Hal has experienced probably fear, and he's basically fearless. He says, is that you? I was afraid. Yeah, I know Satana sent me to find you. And he also took in, this power ring, battery. Where did Sinestro send me? To the farthest reaches of the physical reality. Basically, he wants to put Hal out of the equation, but Hal, pretty angry, says, I know he's not want me to return. I'm going to kill him. Now, that is interesting here, what he's saying. But then, Phantom Stranger says this. Don't go back for revenge, Hal Jordan. You just seen what become of an Earth you try to remake with your own will. I believe he's going back to when Hal Jordan, was destroying the Lantern Corps and become Parallax, and because Mongol destroyed Coast City, and he wants to recreate that and make everyone alive again, playing God, basically. If revenge is your idea of justice, you only find yourself trapped in another world of your design where everything and everyone has to resemble you. The ring was given to you, Hal. Don't let it power own you. Now hurry, your world needs its hero. So that's a classic because now he's doing the oath and, Hal Jordan becomes the Green Lantern again, fully powered up. Pretty cool. Meanwhile, Mera comes in and tells Aquaman that Garth, Aqua Boy, stole his son because, of their son, because he was on the influence of the worms. And Hal is back. And I believe we all survived, says Atten. Yes, we did, says Captain Marvel. He looks at Wonder Woman for now. All right. He says, I'm talking about Green Lantern. Perhaps now he really will be the greatest Green Lantern of them all one day. And I think Hal Jordan is the best Green Lantern of them all. Yes, I like all the other lanterns, But Hal Jordan, he's the best, right? In my humble opinion. Although modern DC wants to try to change that all. I don't know why they do that all the time, right? Introducing a new character or another character and says, well, he's better than Hal Jordan or she is better than Hal Jordan. No, try to... I mean, fans like Hal Jordan. It's established. It's burned into their memories, into their youth, and how they grew up with. I mean, I've read comics since I can remember. But the '90s era was the best era in my opinion. Hal Jordan is the best. Period. Done. Like you may have an opinion, and that's fine. But in my opinion, and according to all of these writers that established that Hal is the best Green Lantern, it is what it is. Right? Stop trying to change history. Anyway, so he's using the power on Batman and the rest of the Justice League, I guess, for, destroying the robot worms inside, and everybody is now, I guess, whole again. And he says, one of them says, thank you, Wonder Woman. Of course, Bruce, I'm glad you're back. And he's looking sad, maybe because of, that he attacked everyone else. So, but then Aquaman comes in. He says, "Hey, listen, I'm glad that everybody's okay, but my son has been kidnapped, and he's in the hands of the monster who cut in my head and removed part of my brain." And Hal says, "What? Yeah, he wasn't there." But then this is cool. He says, "John told me that he learned that Brainiac cut me open in an attempt to discover a means to control Grodd. Superman saw the same microscopic worms that were controlling Batman inside Captain Cold. It's a conspiracy." And basically he says it's all the doing of Brainiac, and he's a cold calculated machine, and we need to take him out. Giving a speech somewhat. He says, "That's a good thing that he's a machine, because I'm going to kill him." Right. Meanwhile, Red Tornado, says that everybody is now in control of Brainiac, and we see all these people are being hostage by Supergirl, by the Teen Titans, the classic Teen Titans, in the classic costumes. Also with Batgirl and a lot of other people. All right. So Superman says, "We were never afraid to lose our lives for justice, never afraid to pay the ultimate cost as necessary. But this is how we things do. How do we make things right now? We never faced it before, not like this. Can we really risk letting those we care for most die? For the sake of a world of strangers? We know the answer. We're the Justice League. We begin to prepare for the fight to come, a fight for our lives and theirs." But then Rita here says, "I'm worried, Chief. What if the dream is true? What if stopping the villains now will only make us certain the Earth is not saved?" That's a good question, because what is then the impending doom? Well, we see in Brainiac's ship coming closer and closer to, I believe Earth, and that's the end of the book. All right, so we're moving on. Also, these Batman computer files, you can read it. You can pause the video here if you want to know more about the Flash, also about Captain Cold here, about his weapon, about the cyclotron, etc. It's really cool. It's finally we're turning the tide a little bit. For now the heroes are regrouped again, and they are making battle plans to battle the villains and Brainiac and maybe the impending doom. But in the next one, we see Captain Marvel and Black Adam going at it. I hope so. I can't wait. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.